There is this strange perception about The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, something that crops up again and again. The monotone screen of the Game Boy and the simple sprites left a lot up for interpretation. A notion of somberness, a reading of melancholy. The idea that the game tells a sad tale of loss, where all your struggles are in vain. A dream world doomed to be destroyed and forgotten, by your hand no less. A farewell to people without refuge. But with the remake now in our hands, we should possibly ask ourselves, is Link's Awakening really a dark game? Does it portray a grim message, or is there more to it than you might first suspect? The overhanging premise of Link's Awakening is that it's about Link escaping a dream world and returning to reality, with the consequence that everything that constitutes this dreamland, Koholint, will cease to be once the task is completed. Now, at face value, this will seem like a fairly straightforward negative outcome. After all, everything you do in the game occurs somewhere on Koholint. Any place, character, or event the player might have grown fond of would then be non-existent. In fact, if all player interactions in this world are nothing but a dream, then what gives it purpose and value? It might as well never have happened, you say to yourself, hunched over your Game Boy, displaying its digital fairy tale. And who can really blame you? There is this stigma on dream narratives in fiction that condemns anything for not being part of the diegetic reality. Written off as a big canonical null, they are easily viewed as pointless time wasters that do nothing to further actual story events. However, that is to us a rather dismissive reading, since the events portrayed in fiction are no more real than those of a dream, making the very question of something in fiction being part of a fictive dream or not seemingly redundant. Whatever the storyteller wanted you to know will come across in equal clarity, no matter if it was a dream or not. In fact, dreams can form an ideal vehicle to reflect the very nature of stories in an easily digestible way to the audience. This integral link between dreams and fiction is a perfect crutch for the message of subjective reality in Link's Awakening to really hit the ball home. Over the course of the adventure, Link's main objective is gathering instruments to wake the fabled Windfish, a mysterious deity resting within a giant egg on a local mountaintop. Over time, however, it gets progressively clear that the island of Koholint is part of the Windfish's dream, and that awakening the creature will make the dream world cease to exist. This fuels the antagonistic monster's motivations of hindering Link, because as they say, if he were to succeed, everything would vanish. Now the straightforward reading of listening to the villain's perspective boils this down to a strange scenario of the main character of a Nintendo game striving to end the world. Kind of like how Mario would totally be out to kidnap Princess Peach from Bowser's perspective. For a more sensible perspective, we need only converse with the island natives for their takes on the matter. Of course, they never seem aware that they are part of a dream, but what's more important is that they remain supportive of Link and his quest. Most importantly, Marin, who clearly forms an affectionate bond with Link, ultimately realizing that he has to leave. Though instead of fighting the inevitable, she accepts the parting of their ways, wishing only that he will remember her. And this bond by memory is the central theme of Link's Awakening, when the windfish finally wakes up in the end, they cement this further.
I am the windfish. Long has been my slumber. In my dreams, an egg appeared and was surrounded by an island, with people, animals, an entire world. But verily, it be the nature of dreams to end. When I dost awaken, Koholint will be gone. Only the memory of this dreamland will exist in the waking world. Some day thou may recall this island. That memory makes the dream world real. Come, Link, let us awaken together.
There's a term in philosophy called phenomenology, which proposes that any reality to the self will only be that which an individual experiences, separate from whatever objective reality exists outside our subjective perceptions. In short, it means we can only truly know our own experiences, never get fully inside another person's mind and see their perspective, or observe reality through an unfiltered, unbiased lens. What this also means is that whatever constitutes our own perceptions will be equally real to us regardless of outside influences. For example, through this lens, it could be said that if you have a dream, it will still be a lived experience for you. It doesn't matter if it's objective reality or not, it constituted your perception at some point. So it was, in a sense, a real experience. Likewise, any part of your mind is a part of your lived experience. You may not have video proof of what you did yesterday, but your memory of it reassures your mind that it was real. It means that your memory of people and places that are no longer with you physically still live on in your mind, like a long-lost friend or a dead relative. They live on in your memories, and just because they're no longer here doesn't mean that they weren't real to you. Just like the big queer fish says, remembering makes the dream real. Who's to say that Koholint wasn't a real experience for Link? After all, he lived it. His subjective perspective dictates that it was no less real than any other adventure he had. Even though the memory of the dream is all that remains, it's equal in value to any other memories of other events, regardless if they were objective reality or not. Interconnected with this theme is the concept of letting go. Dreams, like anything, must come to an end. Fighting the inevitable is ultimately a futile struggle. The antagonistic nightmares only wish to persist in their world. They want nothing to change, to have everything the way it always was. But what good is a permanently constant system of no change? How can we move on if everything is always the same? Be it entropy or stagnation, this goal is impossible and will only lead to unnecessary pain and struggle. The theme of closure blends perfectly with that of memories in the scene with the ghost halfway through the game. This restless soul will follow Link around the world, begging to return to their own home. Though upon getting there, they're filled with both nostalgia and the pain of seeing that nothing has changed. Returning to their old life did nothing to ease the ghost, who after this only demands to be returned to their grave, to move on from the past and finally rest. In a sense, this segment encapsulates the core of what Link's Awakening wants to convey. Just like the ghost, there is no meaning for Link to remain in this world in perpetual stagnation. All he needs is the memory, because that will belong to him forever. All good things must come to pass. Now, what's most interesting about these themes is how they are not only conveyed within the in-universe confines of the game, but also told directly to the player through the medium of games and fiction. After all, games also form your subjective reality. When the windfish talks at the literal end of the game, it's not just to Link, but more so the player. The fictional realm of a game is no more real than that of a dream, but your perspective of them can be equally real to that of anything else around you. If you had an emotional reaction to what happened in Link's Awakening, then the windfish's words should comfort you in that your feelings are legitimate. It doesn't matter if it was a dream, or rather a game, because it was real to you. Ironically, this would ring even more true if you read the text literally and saw it as a dark story, because that perspective requires even more emotional attachment to the game, with the undying conviction of all fiction being equal to reality. Just like Link, you too can remember your adventure on Koholint and all the people that you met there, and have that memory make it real. And honestly, we wouldn't want to have it any other way, because how satisfying is a story that never ends?
Thank you for watching all the way to the end. We'd like to give a special thanks to Curio for voicing the great big queerfish, also known as the windfish.
And we also, of course, want to give a special thanks to all our patrons, who are Tommy Håkansson, Anonymous, Chihuahua X-Pug, Sweet Pink, Nocturno, Emily Smith, and Iantu. If you also want to appear on this list, you can become one of our patrons on patreon.com/transparens. Do so to support us and help Kiki survive her super bad job that is killing her.
But what if it's just a dream?
Then it's equally true.
Fuck!
I'm sorry. Also, we have been sick for like 2 weeks or something, so that's why this has been a while to wait. I'm sorry. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.